Hey puppy parents, how's it going tonight? It's Mandy with Mandy's Doodles. I have been getting a lot of questions lately about grooming products, and I wanted to take some time tonight to talk to you about it. You'll see that I'm in my laundry room right now, and that is because the puppies are sleeping, and for whatever reason, they're very sensitive to me speaking. So when I was in there, I was waking them all up. They were all sleeping on my lap, and then when I went to go get up, they just scattered and were upset that I was ruining their nap. So I came in here where actually all of my supplies are located anyways to be able to talk to you about grooming products. Um, I am not a master groomer, so I don't know very much about the ins and outs of shaving and haircuts and those kinds of things. I really try to leave that up to my groomer. My groomer is Sheena. She's amazing. I've been seeing her for 7 years and I love Sheena to death. She knows exactly what I want every time I walk in the door, and it's wonderful. And my dog loves her, and that's why we love Sheena. Um, and I hope that you guys also find a groomer. So I'm going to talk about that at the end about how to find a good groomer. But until then, I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite products and what I use in between grooms, in between professional grooms for Hallie. Some of this is things that I've discovered myself over years. Some of it is tips that I've learned from a master groomer, and some of it is tips that I've learned from just other groomers on social media, or from other friends that have had really good luck with grooming. So I have no doubt that there are other techniques, other products out there. Some of these are the other products out there. There are a lot of different things. If you really want to get into grooming, I suggest joining a couple doodle grooming Facebook groups or watching some videos on YouTube to get started. If you're really, really keen on this, then let me know and I can point out a couple of really good resources for you. I do have some people that choose to groom their doodles, and I would love to hook you up with them to chat about their strategies moving forward. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is shampoo and conditioner. I recently found this company. I'm super happy with it. I think you guys have seen me send some emails out about it, and it's called Pride and Groom. I also just found out that they are going to be in Petco now, which is really exciting for them. Good for them. I purchased these maybe 6 months or so ago, and I've only used them a couple of times because I was using up something else. But I'll tell you what, conditioner was an absolute game changer when it came to Hallie's coat. I used to just do shampoo, but then I broke down and I bought conditioner. I'll tell you that story in a little bit when we get to the tool for that. But conditioner made a world of difference, and her coat is so much softer after using it. I really love the scent of Pride and Groom. I believe the fragrance is like bergamot, lang lang, and something else. It is fresh. It is beautiful. It is not too florally. It is not too shampoo-y. It is so good that I bought the spray, the deodorizing spray, because it was so refreshing, and I have been actually using this on your puppies to make them smell better between bathing, and I've also been using it on some of their some of their bedding too, just to help like refresh the space a little bit. And I'm really loving this product. Like, the scent is just beautiful. Um, so I contacted the company because I recently bought the gallon size containers. And what I discovered on the back of the gallon size containers is that the shampoo can be diluted 1 to 16. So 1 gallon is equivalent to 16 gallons. And the conditioner can be diluted 1 to 20. So 1 gallon is the equivalent of 20 gallons of conditioner. That kind of explains why it costs so much. But then I was curious, if I bought the little containers, could you dilute this too? And I contacted customer support, and they told me that the gallon size is professional grade and these are not, but you could still dilute these 1 to 10. I have been diluting these, and I'm going to show you how I dilute my shampoo. I don't actually dilute the conditioner. I guess I should start though. I will be doing that with my gallon size containers because I do so much washing now with the puppies. with Hallie, and then we're also getting a new puppy, so I want to be prepared for that one as well with the lovely soft shampoo and conditioner product. Okay, so shampoo and conditioner done. Oh, right. The non-shedding formula. Pride and Groom has 3 formulas: shedding, non-shedding, and sensitive. I've been using non-shedding on the puppies, and then the conditioner is just called the Final Coat. Again, I love the simplicity of their formulas and products. There's no guessing about, oh, do I want this one or do I want that one? Does it need to have oatmeal? They're very simple. Do you have a dog that sheds or do you have a dog that doesn't shed? They're great. So I bought this from Amazon. It is one of those really handy squeezy tubes for like condiments. So it's got this like end that reminds you of the ketchup container, so it keeps the liquid inside and it's easy to refill. This I use and I dilute my shampoo in. I'm going to get another one to be able to dilute the conditioner in. And if you were a professional groomer, you probably have one of those really handy spray nozzles that you can fill with the shampoo, but you know, we only have one dog or so, so you know, this is my second best thing. I usually use the whole bottle, maybe 1.5 bottles per bath. And that's because I learned from a groomer, shampoo twice. The first shampoo gets all the dirt and the scum off. The second shampoo makes them smell better. So I always shampoo twice. I'm going to find out how many ounces this is, and then I'm going to put marks on it so that way I put the exact amount of shampoo that's needed. This is going to save you a ton of money when you get this bottle, because it is so easy to just use this and look at this and be like, well, that's 2 baths, right? Well, if you're diluting it 1 to 10, like they're suggesting, you're actually getting a lot more baths out of this. You're getting 10 bottles of this. So that makes, again, the price much more worth it. Same thing with the conditioner. And these are just condiment bottles that I bought on Amazon. If you guys are interested, then I'll add the links to my website. Actually, I am going to go ahead and add the links to my website for this. And then I follow it up with my spray because it's amazing. I just bought a pet blow dryer because, again, of doing all the grooming. That's up to you if that's something that you want to invest in. If it's just between grooms, you will want to you could just use your hair dryer. This is one of those essential points that you need to always remember owning a doodle. Never let your doodle air dry. You always have to dry your doodle. The only case that you can just let them air dry is if they're actually shaved, which I keep Hallie shaved in the summer, so she doesn't have to get dried that often. But rule of thumb is just never air dry your doodle. That's how your doodle gets mats. That's how their coat looks gross, and mostly the mats. Okay, so that leads me to brushing. You guys recently asked, a couple of you asked, is that coral brush really worth it? Do I have to spend $75 on one brush? Yes, I'm sorry. Really, truly, I am. It took me 9 years before I bought this brush, though. 9 years. And after having it for a grand total of 2.5, 3 months, my answer is yes, buy this brush. It's perfect. The tines on it are the perfect medium level of firmness, so it's not too fine. I tried this knockoff that I bought earlier this year. The tines on this are just way too fine. I use this to brush my cat. That's how fine it is. And it's never going to cut through a doodle coat. So that's the caveat of buying like a knockoff one from Amazon, is that it's just not going to be firm enough to be able to get through the doodle's coat. There is a black one as well, but you want the coral. The coral is the right firmness of the tines. So this is the Chris Jensen coral brush. It is amazing. I did get it on Amazon. That was the best price that I found it for. Also, you know, if anything happens to it, it's from Amazon. So, you know, you can send it back. Master groomers have told me that if you take care of it, it will last you for forever. You know, don't let the tines get bent out of shape. Keep it nice and clean. It's got this beautiful like give in the cushion. Let me see if you can see it. You can kind of see how it gives a little bit. So it's not just, if you look at the one that's the knockoff, there is no give. It's just a hard base. So there's just a little bit of give here. I was really pleasantly surprised at how well it worked. Now, if you're like, Amanda, I'm not ready to spend $75 on a brush. Totally get it. And you're like, what can I use instead? This is the brush that I used for the first 9 years. This is the Furminator. It is a dual-sided brush. So it has straight tines on this side, and then it's got tines with a little bent to it on the other side. It is flexible. It's got these like 2 paddles on it, so it flexes as you're going over your dog's coat. I found that for regular brushing, like if there weren't tangles, you could get away with using the straight side. And if there were tangles, then you would want to use the curved tine side of this. And I mean, you know, you can see I've been using this for 9 years up until 3 months ago. And I still keep this brush. It's going into a different kit that I have, but I love that it flexed. I think it made it a little nicer on the dog. You can still find this brush online. It is a much more inexpensive, reasonably priced brush. The tines are, let me see. I want to see if I think that the tines are comparable. I think that they are fairly comparable in density, or like firmness, hardness factor to the Chris Christensen. So that probably is why I had such great success for this for so long. I never worried about it falling apart or anything. It was pretty well made. Again, 9 years. So if you're not ready for the coral brush, you can get away with using this one. So now I want to talk about mats. We don't want our puppies to be the ones that get shaved because they weren't groomed or they weren't combed all the way right. So it's important that you guys learn how to do line brushing with your dogs. There are some videos out there on how to do it. I can show you when you come to visit for your puppies if you're interested. But here, well, I should hold my new brush in my hand. The trick to knowing that your dog is free of mats is to go through it with the brush and then follow it up with a comb. I have grown to really like this particular comb because it's plastic and has a few little grippies on this. When it's wet and when I'm using it in the bath, for example, when she's soaking wet, I have a better grip on this than just the straight metal comb. This one worked better. I will add it to my website too, so I will do that. I want to take this moment to talk to you about a trick that I learned from a master groomer on getting out mats. So this is an example real world example that happened to us this spring. So this spring, we took Hallie out to run in the woods and her coat was pretty long. It was still cold out and she hadn't gotten groomed yet. I was waiting until we could verify pregnancy to get her trimmed down for, labor and having babies. So we took her into the woods of Wisconsin, and if any of you have been out in the woods of Wisconsin, when it is dry and there are no leaves on the trees, there are these little brown, nasty burrs that get stuck, cockle burrs that they get on everything. And this happened to us twice because we took her out twice, but she had fun. The first time was less bad. The second time was worse. And I would say that the second time she was covered in probably hundreds of those little burrs all over her legs. They were stuck in her tail and it had glued her tail to her back. So there was a lot of burrs. And I was like, Sheena's gonna kill me. That's actually what I said. I was like, Sheena's gonna kill me if I can't get this dog clean. So what am I gonna do? But I didn't panic because I watched a seminar with a fantastic master groomer, and I took a few takeaways from it, but this one takeaway was so important to me, and it absolutely worked. We ended up taking her to Tractor Supply in our town because they have a pet grooming station, and I was able to pay like $15 and use their shampoo, their conditioner, nice little apron, stick her up high, tie her in and everything, so that way I could get down to work. And this was the suggestion that worked really well. So if you have really bad mats, 1 mat, 10 mats, 150 burrs stuck in her fur, this is what you do. You take conditioner and a lot of it, and you're going to keep her dry. And on a dry coat, you're going to coat the mat in the conditioner and then carefully work it out with your fingers and the comb. Don't cut it out. Don't cut it. You can save it. So this was something that absolutely saved us. I did not take pictures because I was too busy getting the burrs out. I was probably there for almost 2 hours getting burrs out and everything of her. Totally worth the day. We had a great time. Oh yeah, it was my birthday when we did it in February. But conditioner first, and I'm holding this conditioner just because I'm holding it. It could be any conditioner, but you want to douse that in conditioner on a dry coat and then use your comb and go through it. This is also why I like this comb better, because when that happened, I had much better grip on this comb and it worked out much better for me. So that's one of my really awesome, super awesome lessons for you guys to take away on getting the mats out, that you can save your coat. Now, if it's a mat behind the ear, a couple mats around the collar or on the chest, maybe the tail was really bad or you got into burrs like I did, fine. If your dog is matted to the skin, this is not going to work. If your dog is pelted the whole body over, this technique is not going to work. You're going to have to take your dog in and get them shaved down. The hope is that by showing you some of these products, that won't happen. But it happens to the best of us, usually maybe one time, especially with new doodle owners. So it's okay, live, learn, forgive yourself, and it'll be okay. And listen to your groomer the next time. In fact, that is piece of advice number 2, like master awesome, hot tip number 2 is listen to your groomer. Find a groomer that you trust, but listen to your groomer. We can talk about finding a groomer now. Sometimes it's really hard to find a doodle groomer. Some of them are not doodle friendly. Some of them are great, like Sheena, and she loves getting doodles. Some of them are pro doodle groomers and they love it. It is important that we as doodle owners find someone who we love and who we trust with our dog, that's not going to badmouth us behind our back, that's not going to badmouth our dog behind our backs, and is going to be there to help you and to help you grow and work with your dog's coat and give you tips and suggestions in a loving, compassionate way. I suggest checking social media, calling them and asking, if they're going to upsell you and charge you more because you have a doodle, that could be a red flag. It is tricky. I think social media is a pretty good indicator of how someone feels about doodles in general, and it's just something that we have to work through as doodle owners and try to make work. So anyone who's out of the state and out of my area, I wish you all the best, and I do hope that you find somebody that's spectacular and wonderful for you and your dog. When you find that someone, they're going to help you to understand things like how often you should be coming in for grooming, how long you can let it go for. Hallie goes to the groomer every 10 weeks, and I'm good with that. There are some people that want their dog longer, and that's one of the questions I asked you in one of the recent questionnaires was, what do you want your dog to look like? And if you want your dog to be a poof ball, you're probably going to have to go see your groomer every 6 to 8 weeks or every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how long you want it. Hallie's whining at the door if you can hear her. She wants more food. She's really hungry lately. Okay, so your groomer will also help you to understand ear plucking. Dogs that are more poodly in nature, so Goldendoodles that have more poodle might have more ear hair. Some will have less, and Hallie has like basically none, so she doesn't really get ear plucking done. For dogs that have a lot of ear hair, you may want to do plucking. I talked about this in the doodle guide, but the recommendation that I got from my vet is to do kind of a cyclical ear plucking. So that way not all the hair is coming out at once, which can lead to irritation, or no hair is coming out, which can lead to an ear infection. So he recommended that, you know, you're hanging out with your doodle, just pull a few hairs every once in a while when you think it's getting a little full, and just keep it like at a middle level of hair in the ears. I use 2 products for cleaning Hallie's ears out between grooms again. This one is an Odic Earwell cleansing. There are a bunch out there. This one seems to work for me, and I didn't mind the smell of this one. Let me smell it again actually so I can tell you what it smells like. It's fresh, it's clean, it smells a little appley, like a, cucumber melon scent is what it is. Okay, yep. I'm getting the cucumber and the melon. So it's nice, it's not noxious. I did buy one that I thought was going to be really good and it was super noxious, so I don't recommend that one. The other thing you might want to have on hand is ear powder. So after or before you go to clean, you'll want to use the powder to put on the hair to make it easier to pull it out. You can use your fingers to do it. You could also get a set of hemostats to do it if you wanted to. Depends on how thick the fur is in the ear. Next on the list of things is going to be nail trimming. I like to use 2 different things depending on how long the nails are. These are on my website as well. They're just, sorry, I can hold them up. These are on my website as well. They're just a simple pair of clippers, but I found that they have really great reviews, and the blade on it seems to last a pretty long time. They don't seem to get dull. They're pretty snappy, I guess you can call it. And I liked these. They have this weird file in the end right here, which just falls out, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I feel like I'm just obsessively keeping it with it, even though I've never used it before. So I just keep it in here anyways. It's up to you if you want to use it. I have lately been turning to a nail grinder. I was turned on to this nail grinder. Again, I'll put this on my website because I think I need to add a few things to the website page on grooming. It is a 2-speed professional nail grinder. This is what it looks like. I'll pull it out. Again, fantastic reviews. And another doodle breeder friend of mine turned me on to this. This is rechargeable. And I got the generation after her, so it has a light built in. Super convenient. I have, knock on wood, not had to charge this thing, and I have used it probably half a dozen times. This is it. It's super small. It's got a protective cap on it. It's got 2 ways to be able to grind the nails. So there is this side here where you can put the nail in, or you've got the front here where if you want to get the tip or the top of the nail, you can do it here. And it's got this grinding wheel on it, which hasn't worn out yet. This thing was like $25. Listen how quiet it is. Ready? So that's the low. That's the high. Super quiet. And you can see it's got this light on it, which you can shut off or on. I actually like Hallie to be comfortable when I'm doing her nails. So the other day I did them like in really low light while the light was off in the living room. It was, you know, towards nighttime, and the light was perfect to help. And it was actually pretty genius. I'm impressed with this little thing because I had a Dremel tool at one point when I was doing my dog's nails, and this thing is way more convenient. With your puppy, you do need to take some special time if this is what you want to do. You do need to train your dog to be comfortable with either of these things, which reminds me, going back to this thing, if you do buy the Chris Christensen coral brush for your puppy and you get it now, I would start like using it on your dog like once a day, just because, so they get used to the fact that they're being groomed. But you don't want to go hard on this. You want to go really soft and gentle. When I've been bathing your puppies, they have been getting this as well. And I just sort of like, oh, like lightly like this across the backs of your dogs just a couple of times so they can feel that this is something that happens. So they got baths, they got blowouts, and then they got this just a little bit. So that way they were exposed to the feel of the brush that almost every single groomer has. What else do I have in my arsenal? So I did the nail grinder, I did the nails. I think that might be it. Again, I'm not a professional groomer. This is like my between grooming stuff. This is Hallie got into a mud puddle and she needs a bath. Hallie went swimming and she needs a bath, because if you guys know, your puppies love swimming. So, well, if I haven't told you that, your puppies will love swimming because both of their parents are swimmers. So I imagine that that is a time when you will want to be bathing them, because if they come out of the water, they're going to smell gross, or they're going to have chlorine on them if you took them to a pool, and you're going to want to just get that out of their fur, and you're also going to want to dry them. Don't forget to dry them. So if you guys have any questions about grooming stuff, please let me know. Otherwise, this is it. So it's a handful of products. I know I talked a lot, but look, we're going to go over them again. Shampoo, conditioner, a brush, really good brush, and a comb. So the comb. We have the condiment bottles for diluting your shampoo and conditioner. So you want 2 of them if you're getting this particular product. Otherwise, if you're getting another one, you might just want one for the shampoo and not for the conditioner. I don't know. That part's up to you. But bottle to dilute with is on the list. Ear powder, ear cleaner, and nail clippers or the grinder. So nail clippers or grinder or both, depending on which you prefer. Hair dryer or pet dryer, depends on which you would prefer and how serious you are about grooming. I'll show you my pet dryer. So this is my pet dryer here. It's called Shalandi. Lendy. Why? I've only used it to do your puppies, and I did Hallie once. It's got all these attachments on it. It's got a heat setting and an on setting, and then you can change how much and how powerful the air out of it is. It was really nice, and it's not too hot. It's comfortable. I really liked using it, so I hope that it lasts a really long time for us, because it was fantastic. So with that, I'm gonna say bye. Here's Hallie. She's running out because she wants food. I just gave her a bath yesterday too, and she looks fantastic. She looks beautiful, and she smells amazing. So that's it. I hope I answered all your questions, and ask me more if you have it. So thank you guys. Good night.